So guys, for this assignment, you need to actually have the Biome Viewer open and then load Biome Viewer in a new window. The reason why you need to have this open is because it's going to give you the document that you need in order to do your homework. Once you open the document, the first part in here, it shows you that you need to click on an simulation. So you're going to click in here. It's a little bit slow due to the video that I'm recording right now. So you're going to open this part right here, right? Okay, so it's going to take you to this simulation. During this simulation, you're going to click where it says Start Interactive. Once you start interactive, it's going to show you this part over here. Okay? In this part, you're going to pick any part of the world, okay? Because the first part of the document, it says, okay? First, you're going to drop the pin on any point in one of the biomes listed on table 1 below and record the following. So you have the biome name, you have the latitude and longitude, you have the range of temperatures, minimum and maximum, you have the rainfall, which is actually the precipitation, and the total of number of species. I'm going to give you an example, and please do not copy and paste it, because this one that I'm going to give you is not part of this list. So the example that I'll show you is with this biome, which is chaparral. Okay? I'm going to left click. It's going to show you the name of the biome on the top right over here. It says chaparral. It's actually in California. If you look on this part right here, the right side shows you the temperature in degrees Celsius. The left side shows you the precipitation, which is actually the rainfall in millimeters. For the chaparral, if you look in here, the minimum is about 11 degrees Celsius. The maximum for the temperature is about 20 to 23 degrees Celsius. So what you need to do in here, for example, again, do not copy and paste it from what I'm showing to you. This is only an example. The biome name is actually a chaparral. The temperature I already told you is about 0 degrees versus, I don't know, it was 22, 23 degrees Celsius. The latitude and the longitude, when you go back to the simulation, it's going to show it to you right here. Okay? The 33.7 degrees north and the 118.2 degrees west, that's actually the latitude and the longitude. Okay? Now, when you look at the rainfall, it's actually the precipitation. Going back to your simulation, on the left side, it shows you the precipitation. In this case, for the chaparral, it's about, I would say probably 1,000, okay? 1,000 millimeters for the minimum, and the maximum would be like 1,060 millimeters. That's just an approximate, okay? That would be the maximum for the rainfall. Now, the total of a species. At the bottom of this part, it shows you the reptiles, amphibians, and the mammals. What you need to do, you're going to add all your species for your biome, and you're going to write it down in here. Okay, total number of species. Okay? Now, the same thing you're going to do for the tundra. In this case, just because you're working by yourself, you got to do for the tundra, the boreal, and the temperate deciduous forest. Or you can actually do it for the desert, the tropical rainforest, or the alpine. It's up to you. You got to find the latitude, and you're going to put in here the species richness. Okay? Keep your biome open. Do not close it. Number 3, it says, based on the completed table, do an I see, I think, I wonder activity by completing table 2. So based on the data that you have in here, what do you see? What patterns do you observe? What do you think? What can you infer from the patterns? And what do you wonder? What else would you like to explore? That's what you need to type on each one of these columns. Okay? If I'm going too fast, that's the reason why I actually recorded this. Now, for number 4, it says change the view to a flat map and turn on the grid lines. You're going to click on the Sahara Desert near the Tropic of Cancer. You're going to click compare and select the tropical rainforest biome in Southeast Asia at about the same latitude. Then answer the following questions. So how do rainfall and the temperature patterns differ between the biomes? I'm going to give you an example. I already have the chaparral open. Okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually go here. I'm going to minimize it if I can. If not, I'm going to open it again. I'm going to pick the chaparral again. Okay? I'm going to click compare. When I compare, you can actually pick any of this. In your case, it says it has to be between your biome, keep your biome open, and then select the Sahara. So if you look in here, first, in order for you to make the map flat, you're going to click here at the circle on the top left. Okay? You're going to go to settings. And hold on one second because this is slow. When you go to settings, it's going to show you the grid lines. You're going to click in here, okay? Now, what you need to do, you're going to select the Sahara. That's actually what it's telling you. So the Sahara is somewhere where, I don't know, just find it out. I'm going to show you here the savanna, just because I like the savanna. If you look in here, I have the desert on the left, and then I have the savanna on the right side. You are going to compare the precipitation between your biome versus the precipitation of the Sahara, which is a desert. So again, keep your biome open, okay, any of the biomes that you selected, and then open the one that says savanna, either savanna or the one that says desert. On this part in here, you're going to compare what's going on with the rain. Where it rains more, does it rain more on the desert or the savanna? In this part in here, for me, the desert is actually about 800 millimeters, which is actually the rainfall for the minimum. The maximum is about 25 millimeters. So I can write in here, the pattern is basically that the desert, it rains less compared to the savanna. At about what? And you can give me the numbers. And I said that it was about 800 millimeters compared to the savanna, which is approximately 1,050 millimeters. Another thing that you can say is that the desert actually rains about 1,060, 100, and 100. I would say 1,100 millimeters compared to the savanna, that the highest is about 1,200 millimeters. Okay? The same thing with the temperature. Where is it hotter? Well, they both kind of the same, except for the savanna is a little bit higher, but the difference is not that much. So in this case, you can actually just put the savanna is hotter compared to the desert, which is about 30 degrees Celsius. This is actually for my biomes. Remember, I don't want you to copy from here. This is only an example. Now it says in here, list the species richness for each biome. So you're going to go back to your compare. You're going to click where it says wildlife. And it shows you all the species. So what you're going to do, you're going to add them. Right here on the top left, it says 12 for amphibians, 49 reptiles, 78 for the mammals. Add them all. This is going to be for the desert. 25, 19, 83 for the savanna. You're going to add them on and put it there for the savanna. Okay? Now, think about the difference or similarities in species richness between these two biomes. What could account for this difference or similarity? So you're going to go back in here. What do you notice? Well, what's going on in here? There's more mammals in the savanna compared to the desert, which is only 78. The difference is not that much. But if you look at the numbers, I would say probably the reptiles are the ones that are the most in the desert compared to the savanna. So those are the things that I'm looking for in your answers, okay? What are the difference? What is similarity, okay? The similarity, what do they have in similar? What do they have in common? So if you look in here, do they have anything in common? Probably the mammals, actually. There's not a lot of difference. Just by 5, but I mean, it's the highest one for both of them, so that's actually kind of similar compared to the reptiles and amphibians, okay? Now going back, you're gonna scroll down, and you're gonna go back to your original biome from question number 1. You're gonna pick one of yours. It's supposed to be 3, you're gonna pick one of them. You're gonna make sure that your map is still flat, and you're gonna change to anthrop layer. So in my case, I'm gonna click change because I wanna keep my original one. I'm gonna take the grid lines off, okay? And then you're gonna go to anthrops. So the anthrops is right here, okay? So for my map, it was a chaparral right at the beginning, or it was a desert. So if you look in here, it's kind of green. Let me see if I can actually amplify it. No, I cannot. Okay. So the anthrop is right here. Let me see if I can go back. You're going to go back in here. Let me see if I can. It might actually take me back. And it's because the internet is so slow. So let me go really quick in here. I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna go to flat. I'm gonna go back to my desert. Okay, this is a temperate grassland. This is my desert. Okay, so in here you're gonna go to anthrop. Okay, at the bottom you should see where it says 1700, 1800, 1900, 2000. So what you're gonna do, depending on the color, every time that you click on the dates, for some reason it doesn't show on this one, you're gonna click on each year and you're gonna compare what's going on with the colors. So some of them are wildlands, like right now for me. It means that there is no human population. So that's what you need to write down in here. For your biome, in my case 1700, I'm gonna put here wildlands, no human population. 1800, when you click in here, if you see any changes in the color, whether it's croplands, if it's rangelands, if it's villages, it's up to your biome. If it's actually a cropland, it says in here low human population density, okay? So meaning that what? That there's actually a little bit of land, large areas that are cultivated to support humans living. That's it. That's what you need to write down, croplands and what it is. Now, the last question in here, it says, briefly summarize how humans have impacted the environment at this location over time. So you're going to type in here, in 1700, there were what, wildlands, meaning that there was no human at all. But then after the 2000, you see some, I don't know, increase in human population. I don't know. It all depends on what you find on your biome. Okay? Now, C, on that part of your document for C, you're gonna go to your anthrop, your biome again, don't take it away. And then in this part right here, what happened in 2000? What happened with the species richness? Now the species not listed as at least concern. Where can I find that? When you go back to your simulation, you're gonna click here at the bottom, go more. When you go to more and you go to wildlife, you see that it says threat level filter. You're gonna click in here and just unselect least concern. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna add the ones that says near threatened, vulnerable, endangered, and critically endangered. Just add them all, put them in this document, and that's it. Everything else, D and E, do not worry. You don't need to do this for this homework, okay? So don't bother to do D or E, but everything else you must complete it in order to get your 25 points for this assignment. It is due on November 7th. Remember that after that day, I'm not allowed to actually get any of your homework related to Biome Viewer. Let me know if you have any questions.